What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr, and today we're here with Carl, whose
Hello.
baby has come back. Not physical baby, but close enough. Infernoid's got brand new support in the brand new Battles of Legend, and Carl could not be more excited to be putting that together. So unfortunately I am away as of next week when this video goes out, which is why we are going to be using proxies as a disclaimer, and one very special proxy in this profile as well. But Carl is the master of Infernoid, so I thought it'd be better to get him to do the profile to show you exactly what you'll be looking for, what you need to pick up in order to put the profile together. So with all of that out of the way, Carl, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dale. I do want to point out the special proxy is a very, very special proxy made by Dale, and I very much appreciate it. It's my fault for not bringing it. The deck has finally got the support it needs. The deck was prone to bricking, it was prone to running out of resources turn one, and both these issues have been tackled with the new cards, so I'll just get right on with it. First of all, it is the free Decatron, which anyone that's seen the new rarities and wants to pick up their secrets is happy as anything. Decatron is basically the heart and soul of the deck. It sends the Infernoids, gains their effects. It allows you, due to the link mechanic, to just fill your grave, keep bringing it back, keep fueling. With the Snake Eyes, you can do it up to 4 times a turn. Next, one Antra, which is the bounce back to hand. It's just for the extra, those problem solvings where you can't pop cards, you can just bounce them. Decatron for popping monsters, and Petrudia for popping spell and traps. That is it for the small guys, and then for the medium sized guys, no puns, Sigeti. You only play this for the Void Feast combo. There's no other reason. Its effect doesn't really come up. It's just so you can get the 2 Decatrons alongside itself to have 2 negates. Next is Sightsemus. This is the, if it attacks, it can banish a card your opponent controls, non-target banish removal. And a Tondel, which is your OTK. If it attacks, it can attack again.
And they all have the same effect as like DD Crows, don't they?
So they do, but from the small ones to the big ones is different. The small ones you can only activate during your opponent's turn. The big ones you can activate during either player's turn. So do not fall for that. There will be a lot of people, I'm sure, that will believe they can activate during both turns, but they both can only activate during certain turns, except for, well, these can only activate during one player's turn. These can do both. That's it for the medium guys. Next you have 2 Deviati, which is your Heavy Storm and a Monster Negate. They do this on purpose to confuse us. So this on summon, Heavy Storms, but on field it is a monster negate by tribute for cost. All of these have to tribute for cost to DD Crow. And then you have the opposite, which is the Raigeki, which is a spell and trap negate. These require 3 to be banished to summon. These guys required 2 to be banished to summon. And then these guys required 1 to be banished for the summon.
Unfortunately, I believe it was Deviati that was one that wasn't reprinted in the Battles of Legend, so...
Yeah, I believe it was because Deviati got a reprint like 3 years ago, so it's had 2 prints while everything else of the higher rarities hadn't. So everything has had 2 prints now. That's it from the Infernoid monsters. Then we have to do the degenerate plays of joining the Snake Eyes players. So this does allow us to link spam like absolute crazy, which obviously in a deck which gets locked into level 8 or higher, you can't special summon more if you've got above level 8. These are necessary. They are very much necessary to recycle Decatron continuously, fuel the grave. It's a shame if you're on a budget, but it has to be done. To go along with that is the Free Witch and the 1 Flamberge. This card is insane. Again, everyone knows this format. Whether you're calling to ban it or not is up to you. But this is all just to get into this engine, and this is so you can again spam out. This is a god card in here. This is the one that's been, well, these 2 together are letting you just cycle through Decatron like nothing.
So with this engine, what could you afford to lose if a ban list hits? Like, so for future proof of Infernoids,
Yep.
can you just turn it into an OSS turbo? Because obviously that's the bridge to get you to Decatron.
Yes, you can. But primarily we'd go back to our roots. If this got touched heavily and it's inconsistent at that point, just go back to going second. With the new spell and traps, going second is again viable. That's my personal opinion, but there will be other ways to play the engine. That's it for the Snake Eye monsters. And then hand trap. The only monster hand trap I'm playing is Ash. You can't really get away with that many hand traps in here. It is, I believe, a 50 card deck, so just play the ones that are blowouts. And then Droplet, which obviously for Infernoids is incredible. Chain into anything, sending level 8s or higher, bringing out more Infernoids, or getting rid of the bricks in hand to negate a board. Why not be able to do that? It is a good going first and going second. Along with all the other interactions you set up going first, to have this in the back row, it's not going to be expected. The 3 wanted to go along. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain. Consistency's key, especially in 50 cards. And 2 bonfire, same point to be made. And then to go along with the Snake Eye engine, that does complete the Snake Eye engine, yeah.
Do you not like the idea, especially with the field spell, to play the other Deer Bell as the one that goes into the spell and trap zone?
I've literally traded for it this weekend to test with it.
Yeah.
It has been tempting. It has been really tempting.
Yeah, because I've been testing it out, and it's actually a pretty underrated card.
Oh yeah, I think to get, for this deck in particular, if you can put Oak back into the spell and trap zone and then during your opponent's turn summon it with a Flamberge or the field spell and get another Decatron Negate or DD Crow, it's definitely an option. Instant Fusion. This is so good now. Please, if you want to main Frost, add more targets, but this going first sets up so much for you now.
And that's mainly because of the brand new Fusion, yeah?
Because of the brand new Fusion.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Void, Spell and Traps. So we're still on the free Vanishment. Don't let them cheat you. If they activate the effect, they're locked into Infernoids for the rest of the turn. So as much as this is great, it's basically just to search you a void if you're not in a good state, if your hand isn't looking healthy.
So what you're saying is if they activate this first, chances are they haven't got the best of hands.
Yeah.
So if you ogre it or stop it, it's like, okay, cool.
Definitely.
Not much is happening.
They can't special summon anything else except Infernoid. So you know they're not going to use the Decatron Abuse, they're not going to Fire Link, they're not going to do any of that good stuff. But with the new support, they do have a lot of options now. But, you know, they shouldn't be starting with this. But if they do, time to hit it with an Ash. Vanishment, which is our Shadow Fusion. Imagination, which is our Shadow Fusion. Tierra isn't what it used to be in regards of, you know, the game has been power crept so much that a card that sends free from extra deck, you haven't got 3 cards in the extra deck you necessarily want to send. Infernoid Evil has changed that, but we'll come to that shortly. Void Blaze Up, which I'm playing 2 of. So this is the hand. So you cycle through your hand. You can send your hand to the graveyard, same as Card Destruction used to. And then if it's banished, you can get a Infernoid that is banished. You banish if this card is banished, you can get an Infernoid that is banished and return it to your hand. Not amazing, but having a searchable card destruction in case you do want to go 60 card, go second Infernoid, you'd probably play 3 of this just to fuel your grave.
Yeah, so the exact wording is what, like, reveal an Inferno monster or a void spell or trap in your hand, so you're going to have loads of targets for that. Discard your entire hand, then draw the same number of cards you discarded. If you control no monsters or only fiend monsters except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you get to banish this card from the graveyard to then target up to, is that 11? Yeah, 11 of your banished Infernoid monsters with different names, return them to the graveyard. Yeah. So obviously the best thing about that is when you're recycling your Infernoids, you can then go again because you just constantly keep banish different levels, bring them back.
Annoyingly, you can't do both effects on the same turn. If you could, that would be it would be a good card. It wouldn't be broken, but it would be good.
And the recycle is only once per duel as well.
Yeah, that is a really big shame. But the recycle I understand, but if both effects could be activated in one turn, it would be better. So yeah, if you were playing 60 card, go second, play 3 of this because you will brick. Void Barrier. It removes the bricks from your hand. You can special summon directly from your hand. Obviously, one of 2 effects. You either special summon the Infernoid directly from your hand, ignoring summon conditions, or you can add back an Infernoid from your banish to your hand. Not incredible, hence the reason you only play 1. I wouldn't play it if you're at 40 cards, if I'm honest, because it's not going to fix any hands. But if you're at like 50 cards and you're getting into a grind game, you can add back, which is half decent, and then the next turn special summon it. So say you were going on Deviati or a Nunku and the game state was terrible, you can just special summon it back and board wipe your opponent. but it's only for very simplified game states. This is easily the Infernoid, the Void Spell and Trap you could cut. That's it for the spells. The obvious 3 imperms. Like I said, you're not really doing much in the sense of hand traps, but imperm is imperm. Void Feast, which is now, due to the new support, should be resolving nearly every going first hand. This is how you're bringing out you special summon up to the level of 8 Infernoids. So you do Decatron, and I think it was Siget. So the Siget's a DD Crow. Decatrons choose 2 targets, send them from deck, and they gain their effects and their levels. So this is how you're setting up with the 2 negates and a DD Crow off 1 card, which will be Void Vanishment to search this. That is it for the main deck. I believe it's 50. We will go on to the extra. Tierra, which is better now than it was, but it's still not incredible. But going second, being able to mill free from extra deck and free, well, you send free from extra deck and mill free from main deck. Both players do it. It's a good way in turn 1, if you're able to summon, if you've got bricks in hand, you can at least start finding out what they've got. Or even if they're going second and they've got loads of 1-obs, you can risk it and try and get rid of it. Now for the amazing card. I absolutely busted custom card. Infernoid Evil. So if you can banish from the graveyard. If this card is fusion summoned first, you can send cards from you banish an Infernoid in your graveyard to send cards, Infernoid monsters, up to that guy's level. So if you send an 11, you can banish 11. If you send an 11, if you banish an 11, you can send 11 from your main deck to the grave. So this will fuel up all your Infernoid plays. And if this card is banished, you can add any void spell or trap. So get this to the graveyard. But obviously you summon it first. What level is it?
Level 1, yeah, exactly.
You're just linking it off, and as soon as it goes to the graveyard, you banish it, add a void spell and trap. It sets up your combo on its own. So it mills all of your Infernoids from the grave and searches you. This is what the deck was missing. To go along with the Tierra, we do have the Entis, just to pop it. A lot of the time you would Tierra, send Entis, pop the Tierra, giving you another Infernoid in the grave and removing the level restriction. The only other thing to take note of is the fusion spell, the Infernoid fusion spell, did manipulate Infernoid levels. So you could use Imagination to make all Infernoids that are above level 1, but then I believe you deal half damage. But if, it comes up in very, very niche situations. Next, Sky Crisis, Typhoon. It's just Typhoon. There's no other reason to really explain this. But still, we got one more Infernoid card, and that is Flood. For any of you Halo fans, you will love this. Come on, Infernoid Flood. It's a judgment, so when your opponent would summon, you can tribute a card, negate and banish that monster, negating the summon. And then when a card is banished, so it does trigger off itself, when a card is banished, you can banish a card on the field. And when it's destroyed, you can special summon an Infernoid monster from your deck. As much as the link arrows are quite painful, it is a link 4. It is one of your end board pieces. Having the Solemn, having the banish removal, and if it is destroyed, having that cycling through your deck and getting any Infernoid needed.
Yeah, I suppose the only issue is destroyed by an opponent's card. However, it ignores the summoning condition of the one that you summon. And it is slightly generic in the sense that it's not 4 Infernoids, it's 2+ monsters, including an Infernoid monster.
Yeah.
So relatively easy to get. And on top of that, the banish is non-target, so it has a lot of removal.
They copied Sightsumus for the non-banish removal, which Infernoids that's becoming a thing now. To go along with this, we are playing World Sea Dragon. If you're going for the OTK, I think we've all seen this route now. Now we have the generic Fire Link stuff. We have the Ambler Whale.
Just quickly, the irony actually with Zelantis, I'm thinking about this.
Water in a fire deck.
Well, water in a fire deck, but also technically, if you make Zelantis and then you activate the Void card that locks you into Infernoids for the entire turn, you can do what Dark Worlds and Marincest do, where you use Zelantis to banish the entire board, but because you can only bring back Infernoids, you can't bring back any of your opponent's monsters unless you're in the mirror match. which actually is very specific, but it's quite funny because you have to work. So you'd basically like use all of your Infernoids, link into a Zelantis maybe.
Then activate, yeah.
You could probably get Flood if you need to. If you've got enough monsters to keep doing it, you basically just banish more Infernoids, put Flood onto the board. She'll end up with like Flood and Zelantis. Then use Zelantis effect, banish the entire board. Activate the spell card, locking you into Infernoids for the rest of the turn. Zelantis, banish the entire board, bring back Flood. And then if you've still got Infernoids in the graveyard, you just banish, and bring them all back. Or, like I said, just go into Zelantis, Infernoid lock yourself, Zelantis, banish the entire board, and then just go, okay, cool. Because you can't bring back your own Zelantis, and you'll just go banish Infernoid, and then bring all of those ones back that you've just used to link someone into the Zelantis, or as much of them as possible.
Yeah,
and then
I'd like to pretend to take credit for that. I don't even see that play. That's lucky. No, that's great. We will carry on with the fire link. So it was 1 Banshee, obviously, Heater.
See, this is mental as well. It's like the fact that Princess gets you into Flood.
Yep, it is amazing.
Princess bring back an Inferno from the graveyard straight into Flood is mental.
And to think that it's a Decatron again. To add more fuel to the fire, literally. The generic SP and IP. Yeah, it's boring to see, and price I know, but you know there's a reason why it has that price.
Yeah.
The Anima to play Rest in Peace Link Karibo. But you know, it does come up if you go in second. Underworld Goddess, because you can imagine how easily you can just spam
board, get rid of a towers, go again, and then if we get that link too, my days.
And now we have the best custom card in existence. Proxy F Magician. Dale's artwork. If you want a signature, this is what he has to do now.
I'm going to start drawing on people's cards instead.
Let's get this a thing. If you want a signature from Dale, ask for the Proxy F signature.
So for actual context, we're away at Nats currently, and all three of us forgot to bring a Proxy F Magician, and I was like, oh, okay, let's just do a normal one. We'll write Proxy F, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to actually just write on it and make it look as clear as possible that it's not.
I like it.
Proxy F.
I like it. Picasso.
The Proxy F alt art. Let's go.
It's literally Picasso, mate. He'd be so proud of you.
So obviously the idea behind this, for everyone that knows, is it lets you fuse.
Yes.
So that will give you the ability to fuse to get into your Infernoid.
Yeah, you have instant fusion, and you have the Void Imagination to get to your new Infernoid. However, Proxy F obviously allows you to just put in 2 effect monsters and be able to make it, like hard make it. So again, this is the argument for playing Thrust, but in this build there isn't enough continuous spells to warrant it. But when you've got something in the extra set that gives you the access to it, you might as well just do that and not make a deck even more bricky. But that is it for the deck. I am super excited. I've been waiting, what's it been? 7 years? 8 years nearly for this? Oh yeah, and I'm still playing. What's the matter with me?
How time flies. But you've always had the issue because Infernoids have always been that the collateral damage deck, and what we mean by that is this kills him. Is like every time a ban list happens in regards to the meta, I think like it goes all the way back to like Cosmo. They lost Reasoning, and then there was one where it wasn't even Infernoids.
There was Slash Draw.
Slash Draw was the most recent one, but then there was also the Grasslet Greener.
Grasslet Greener, which was Paleozoic.
Yeah, it was like Paleozoic format. Reasoning was Cosmo format.
Monster Gate was an FTK that never came to the TCG. It was the Machina big 4,000 something attack one.
Yeah.
So it's like every time we got away to mill, nah, it's gone.
So now what they're going to do is they're going to go, okay, cool, we need to hit Snake Eyes. What do we hit? And then just hit a bridge between.
Yep.
Hit the bridge between or something like OSS.
You know, if they hit Snake Eyes, we will just go second again.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it can do it. With the new support, it will be able to do it. It won't be the best go second deck, but it will, if it's able to wipe a board, it will have more control than any other second deck.
Gives you what you need.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway, that is it for the entire profile. Very good preview profile for Infernoids. I can't wait for the new support to actually roll it in. Like I said, we're getting this recorded during Nats weekend, so it comes out next weekend. You can pick up your pre-orders on tierzerogames.com as well and get a little bit of an additional discount. But make sure you get those if you are an Infernoid fan, because they are definitely amazing. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.